Hello, and this is going to be the video for figuring out just a quick explanation of how to do tackling for anybody just starting off. So then, it just gets you quick up and good and started so you can do all this wonderful stuff with us. Here I have with me, helping me out, is the main corp leader of both Mercs of Vengeance and Legion, Samuel of R247. Say hi.
Hello, everybody. If you're watching this, thanks for taking the time.
Right here we're going to start off with your general basics of how to get up close and how to tackle and all that. Most of the tackling stuff starting off is going to be a lot of timing. You're having to time your micro warp drive cycles so you disactivate it just soon enough so then you're not overshooting your target. When you overshoot, you're probably going to get killed by him. So, and a lot of times you're going to be, when you're dealing with tackling, you're going to be about 30 kilometers off from your target. That's usually what your targets are going to be coming off of gates from, which was what you'll be starting off with catching. So here I'm going to get set up at 30 kilometers from Sam. Now what you want to start off with is you don't want to click approach or orbit because you'll be going up a little bit too sharp of an angle at them. So what's going to happen is that anything that's really able to lock you up quickly, they can easily take you down before you get close to them, especially with one micro warp drive because your signature radius is going to be massive. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to put your cursor a little ways off from your target, not too far off, but just close enough, but just far enough off so you've got some sort of angle on them. As well here, you'll also want to make sure you get them locked up really nice and quick. And if you've got these two scan reses, like what the video said, you will. So let's start off with this. So yeah, that was a pretty much instant lock there. Now I'm turning the micro warp drive on. Now see how quick I'm coming up to him? Now usually you're probably going to be wanting about okay, I've got a minor issue with the capture. With my talk thing, I can't use everything else, so it's going to be a bit delayed. As you saw there, I didn't time it just right, and I overshot. As you might have saw, and I did stop there to turn around. So it's going to be a minor issue for there, because anything with medium would have easily popped me. As well, my timing was slightly off with the warp disruptor. You'll want to get that on as quick as possible, which would be about 24 kilometers from your target. That is the range of a warp disruptor. But the basic concepts are right here. As you see, I'm circling this close. Sam, if you could try to blow me up. Now, as you can see here, through my combat log, everything's missing me. You're too close to your target, and you're much too fast, where really the only thing that's going to be hitting you at this closer range is going to be, small turrets. You can stop now. But also here, as you can see, this is the reason, one of the explanations I made in my tackle video, or maybe I was thinking it, I can't remember, but you'll understand. I set my orbit at 500, but as you see, I'm at 875 meters away from my target. This is the reason why you don't want to be running your micro warp drive while you're orbiting. When you're doing that, you're going to be going much too fast. See, running it, I'm already hitting out to 2,000 meters on an average, and that's fluctuating. At this range, he will hit me, especially with the increased signature radius. Alright, now we're going to go into a little bit more advanced stuff. This is usually what's going to happen with when you're trying to go and find a target. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp in on Sam at about 30 kilometers, and he's going to try to warp away from me. What this is going to be showing you is generally of how quick you're going to have to react on a target. Do not be expecting me talking, because I will not be able to. Sam, you ready?
Copy.
And as you can see here, he can't move. And even though he is moving at this velocity, he probably still can't hit me. Go ahead and try, Sam. So even though he's moving, and my distance to him is even reaching up to 1,400 meters, his blasters still can't hit. And the hybrid blasters are, in fact, the close range cannons for hybrids. So that should be a good show of you of about what speed you'll be wanting. Do you have anything to add, Sam?
Yes, I sure do. If we want to do this a step further, I'd like to instead have Krona, you go ahead and hold position, and I will work on you, and we'll make it even more difficult to demonstrate the kind of simulate the Stargate camp, undock camp, those sorts of things. The target is going to, in effect, spawn, especially at a Stargate, at a random distance from you. And if you're orbiting the Stargate, it could be up to 30 kilometers, like Krona was demonstrating there. So right now, I'm going to warp on Krona, and the moment I land, I'm going to be trying to warp away. So he's going to have even less time, and you'll have to watch how quickly he needs to react to grab me, and I might even get away. But it's going to demonstrate what is needed as far as reaction time goes.
Now, one tactic on this, when you see somebody warping in on a gate at a distance, the moment you see his name pop up on an overview, you're going to want to start spamming the lock. That's the first thing, and usually your lock button for spam is control. That's the usual default one. See, it can be difficult for even players that have done a lot of tackling before. This is probably one of the hardest things to actually master in Eve.
And if I could add something to that, the the matter of fast tackling is not only about having your ship fitted, it's not only about distance and timing, it's also about you getting yourself into a routine on how to get the target selected in your overview, push the targeting button, having your modules ready, and getting yourself sort of routine to make that work for you so that every time you have to make this tackle, you get it done. Even for myself, it would be difficult because I'm not constantly tackling on a Stargate situation. So I'd have to get used to it again. It's a matter of spamming your targeting button or using control, whichever you prefer. Holding control and clicking the item in your overview also targets. So keep that in mind. You have to get yourself into some sort of routine that works for you, and that's only by practicing. That's why we emphasize so much. So I am going to warp back in on Krona, and he's going to have to cover that distance and get me scrammed as quickly as possible.
Now this time I'm going to try a different tactic of the moment I see him in space, I'm going to start moving towards him before I start doing the lock. This will allow me to not have to worry about that. So I'm already starting to cover distance the moment I see him. Now, as you see there, he did show up a lot closer than he did previously. It did help for me to keep moving. Did have a minor mistake if I accidentally did the shortcut for show info, so I had to close that out before he did lock him. So I did slightly overshoot him a little ways. But that can easily be cured by increasing your training for your high-speed maneuvering, which allows you to use micro-warp drives. So the cycle time is decreased, so then you have more control over when you want to deactivate it.
And if I can add, if everyone noticed, yeah, that this was sort of a long wait there, and I apologize, but that's how it's going to work. Anticipation is going to be pretty high when we're expecting someone to come through a gate or come out of an undock or whatever the case may be, and it's just not going to happen at the moment you're ready. So you have to get yourself trained to be ready at all times when that target's about to come through, especially in a fleet situation. So like I said, you need to get accustomed to using your overview, using your targeting button, using your modules, having those ready, having your screen ready so that you can manually pilot when necessary. All those things need to be second nature to you because the tackle itself, you're only going to have a split-second opportunity. And that's what we tried to demonstrate here.
Yep, and as you saw through the video, you could show that being ready. I wasn't just looking at where I know where he warped to. I was looking at other bodies because for all I knew, he could have gone to a different location and come back to me somewhere else. So you got to make sure you keep looking around everywhere for you. Anything else you think you need to add to your Sam?
The only thing I emphasize, guys, is practice, practice, practice. When you are within the same corp as a buddy of yours, you can practice on each other freely without Concord intervention. So if you need to get out there, you don't always have to wait for us to say we're going out to practice, guys, although we do try and hold training sessions as often as possible, fleets as often as possible, but you can also grab a buddy that's in your corp and feel free to practice webs on each other, scrams, guns, all of that. When they're in your corp, you can feel free to engage and you can practice as much as you need to, and the repetition is the only thing that's going to get you up to speed on that. We can only show you so much. The matter of just getting it done over and over again till you're sick of it, that's what's going to get you good at it.
I think we covered it pretty well, Sam.
Yeah, good deal.